midlife crisis looks like. My midlife crisis. We're yours. What I wanted to cover today is the question for those of you who are having a midlife crisis. Many of us ask this question: how long does it last? How long does a midlife crisis last for? Well, I did some searching, because you know I'm always searching stuff for midlife crisis because I've been dealing with it. What I came across was this: the length of time that a person experiences a midlife crisis. Supposedly, women experience a midlife crisis for anywhere between 2 to 5 years. Sorry. And men, sorrier still, apparently experience a midlife crisis for anywhere between 3 to 10 years. That's the information that I found. I found it over and over again, so I don't know. Maybe they're experts. Although research really doesn't hold a whole lot of water for me as far as midlife crisis goes. Only because there are still a lot of professionals who say the midlife crisis isn't real. Yeah, it is. I've heard an awful lot and read an awful lot about how women, when they experience a midlife crisis, that it's hormones, like it's just menopause. No, it's not. The things that happen to women and the experiences that women have in a midlife crisis is the very same that men experience in a midlife crisis. And guess what? Men don't get menopause. So that's not it at all. Those sorts of ideas actually really irritate me. But okay, yeah, so 2 to 5 years for women and 3 to 10 years for men. I wonder what's the difference? Why do they say that women experience it for really about half the amount of time that men do? I wonder why that is. Maybe we do a little more in the way of soul searching than men do, but it's a point in time when you hit a midlife crisis. I can't imagine not doing soul searching, not trying to figure out who you are, why you're here, what your purpose is, what to do next, how to somehow get some flavor back in your life. So there it is. If you had that question, because I know I did, how long can I expect this to continue, and at what point can I get back to some sense of being and feeling normal? 2 to 5 years for women, 3 to 10 years for men. Now, why would it, some only go for 2 or 3 years and some go 5 to 10 years? What's the difference? What makes it last longer? I wasn't able to find any, or I say a lot of answers to that. There was only one site that I came across that gave that answer as to why, what will cause you to be in a midlife crisis so much longer, 5 years as opposed to 2, or 10 years as opposed to 3. And the answer to that is about how you move through the midlife crisis. And it looks like if you embrace it, move through it fluidly, you're probably going to get out of it a lot sooner. Now, what's on the other side of that? What I found, again, the different sites that I came across, the experts and their research, what is on the other side of the midlife crisis once it finally comes to an end is experiencing life satisfaction again. We do end up going back to it, I guess, and I gotta hold on to this. I gotta believe it's true. What I was reading also, a lot of people end up experiencing more satisfaction in their lives than they had when they were in their 20s and before they hit the midlife crisis. But so some of it shows that by the time we're done, by the time we get out of it, we're gonna have a better experienced life. It's gonna be better. So that's what's on the other end. So hang in there. That's what they tell me. I have to believe it, and I would think if you're having a midlife crisis, you have to believe that too. And like I said, it seems like that one website that I was reading, and in my head it seems to kind of make sense that if you embrace your midlife crisis, and don't judge it, and don't let anybody else judge you either. Just don't even listen. If you embrace it and move through it fluidly, then you're going to experience it for a shorter period of time. Those who try going against it are people who seem to experience it for a longer period of time, and their life seems to be upheaved for a much longer period of time, even if they don't make those drastic changes. And I think especially if you don't make those drastic changes. So anyway, so there it is. 2 to 5 years for women, 3 to 10 years for men. Why don't we just say 2 to 10 years for people? Embrace it, move through it. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. According to the research and the studies, after the midlife crisis is over, we experience life better. Just a side note here, I was thinking that, as I'm reading this stuff, it's research and everything, but I was thinking that I would like to interview, maybe like put up some interviews of people who are either currently in a midlife crisis, but more specifically, those who hit a midlife crisis, got through it, survived, came out on the other end, maybe give us some hope. So I don't know, let me know what you think in the comment sections below about me doing interviews with people who survived midlife crisis, because I think I've got access to a lot of those. And what you might think about, you know, interviews with people who are currently going through a midlife crisis. What questions do you want answered? Like, what questions would you ask someone who's come through a midlife crisis? Pop those questions in below. Give me some ideas, you know, what to ask and how to interview people. But so that's what I was thinking. So anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you for joining again. I really appreciate it. Click share if you know anyone who's going through a midlife crisis, or share if you know anyone whose spouse is going through a midlife crisis, then maybe they might want to understand what is going on with their spouse. Click like, click subscribe, follow me along on this midlife crisis journey, and see if I survive, and see if everybody else survives.